Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome. I have a very special treat for you today. Today I am talking to brand new author Nikki Anderson. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Mary.
Hi. Well, it's a treat because we're going to talk about your beautiful children's book. Can you first tell everybody the title of your book?
Yes, the title is Lost in Eagle Pass, Minty's Journey Home.
Can you tell everybody what inspired you to write this book?
Oh gosh, yes. Well, after finding Minty in finally finding Minty in Eagle Pass, I shared the news with the people that we lost our dog in Eagle Pass, and I wanted to write a book about it, but my emotions were too close to it. So the good people at Eagle Pass encouraged me after we found her to write a book. They said, "You have to write a book about this. You can't let it go like that." So after a year, it took a year to do. Um, I said, you know what? I think I'm healed enough that I can go ahead and write a book. Several of them also said, you should turn this into a movie, write a book and turn it into a movie and do this and do that. Well, I'm not dreaming that big yet, not movie wise yet, but I did say, I could write a book about this. I could make this a story.
Hmm.
And so I just began to write, but it took me a year or a little bit more to actually get it get the thoughts down and make it make sense and make it a children's book. That's what I ended up doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nikki, I'm so glad you wrote this story. And I know you have not said much about the story. That's my next question. If you could tell everybody what this book is about, and I'll say it's such I think it's such an important story to share. I was in the story with you. I felt the emotions that you were going through. I know children will also, and there's some great lessons in there. So can you tell everybody what is Lost in Eagle Pass about and who it's for?
Yeah. Yes. About the struggles of Minty the dog. She's a German Shepherd. She was 4 years old at the time. She's six now. Me and my family moved to Mazatlan, and she ended up going with the moving company while we took a flight. And she ended up getting lost and separated from the dog handlers. It was the moving company had dog handlers as well. And she ended up getting separated. She ran away from them. And so she wouldn't come back. They couldn't get her back. And she ended up getting lost. She was lost for 40 days in Eagle Pass, Texas. 40 days in June. Yeah, so it was very, very hot too. And so the book talks about the struggles and shows how she's looking for me and the family and how she never gave up. She held on, she continued to search, but the good people of Eagle Pass, Texas also searched for her while we were searching on this side, working with the people of Eagle Pass, Texas. And eventually she was found and we were all reunited. And the book has a happy ending. Obviously, we are reunited, but it teaches children that it's okay to trust the kindness of strangers because in this situation, we had to completely lean on strangers and the kindness of strangers to help find Minty and not only help find her, but to reunite us.
Hmm. I mean, we can all understand how this was a difficult story to write about, and you needed time to process everything that was happening. What is it that you hope that kids and parents will take away from this book?
I want them to know, families to know that sometimes it's okay to rely on the help of complete strangers. I know we're living in a time where we don't really talk to strangers, and then we teach our kids stranger danger, and we teach our kids don't talk to strangers and stay away from strangers. But there is a time where you do need to rely on strangers, and that not all strangers are scary or bad. Not all people are scary or bad. As a matter of fact, I believe most people are genuinely good people. And we teach our kids that I think we should teach the kids that it's okay to rely on strangers to help a pet
Mhm.
because it was the strangers that helped Minty find her way back to us, and it was the strangers that helped us find our way back to Minty. So yes, I think that's a really important message to teach the children simultaneously while we're teaching them about stranger danger. Yeah.
Exactly. I like that. I really like it. It also shows us how we can be good neighbors and good people to other people. Like if it wasn't for that couple that helped you find your dog, and I don't want to give it all away. So friends, okay, this is a perfect time to tell you that this book is available on Amazon today. So it's Lost an Eagle Pass Minty's Journey Home. So it's on Amazon, soft cover, hardcover, ebook format. Make sure to sit down with your children and have these important conversations with them. I think the hero's journey you take us on through the book is so well worth it. Like the ups and the downs and then the up, because we finish with you all being reunited, which is beautiful. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Nikki, I want to ask you a little bit about your journey into becoming a children's book author. First of all, was this a new dream for you? Did it just happen when you went through this adventure with moving and losing
Mm.
and finding the dog, or was it before then?
I would say it was before that. As a second grader, we in second grade we wrote a book of poetry. I still have my book of poetry that I wrote in second grade. And my second grade teacher, Mrs. Howard, shout out to Mrs. Howard. I love her to death. She's still in my life, but it was her encouraging me to write because I didn't like to write before then. But I wrote these book of poetry, these poems, and I fell in love with writing. And I didn't realize that. So I kept that. And I knew that someday I would be a writer, but I thought that I was going to be a poetry writer. I thought I would
Mm.
write poetry because I love writing poems still to this day. I never saw myself, oddly enough, never saw myself writing a children's book, even though I am a teacher and been teaching 22 plus years. Never saw myself writing a children's book. I thought more it would just be a book of poetry. Didn't know
Yes.
how that would be. So yeah, it started as a child, second grade dream. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. Imagine that second grade little girl now watching you and especially on your book launch day. So you've always had the creativity. What would you say was the biggest challenge when writing a children's book?
Oh, I would say the biggest challenge for this book was trying to keep my emotions out of the story. So as I'm writing the book, of course, all of the emotions that I was going through when we were looking for Minty was just coming out in the writing. And so I had to figure out a way to tone that down and remove myself out of the story so that this can be a book for children and the children can understand the story. That was the
Yes.
biggest challenge. And I wrote and rewrote and wrote and rewrote and did a lot of that throughout that whole year that I was trying to write.
Hmm.
So once I healed a little bit more, and once I knew that because not only did I have to heal, Minty had to heal during this process as
Right.
well. And that's a whole different issue that we dealt with. That up until probably just recently, 2026, she started to feel comfortable. So I would say removing my emotions from the story was the biggest challenge of the whole writing. It
Hmm.
was. But I
Hmm.
figured it out. I figured it out.
You did, and you did a great job. And it's also understandable 40 days without your dog. I mean, on both sides, that must have been so difficult. So I'm so glad you channeled all of that. And now we have this amazing children's book that we get to share with the kids in our lives.
Yes.
Um, okay, let's talk about lessons. What was the biggest lesson throughout the publishing process for you?
The biggest lesson that I learned was to be open to suggestions. And what I mean by that is being open to suggestions from the beginning when I experienced my first editing, went through the editing, and the editor was giving suggestions. And um, even though it was my emotions that were in the story. And by the time it went to editing for the first time, there was some suggestions that came back, not a whole lot, but a few. And then I thought, oh, okay, I don't want to take this out, but I do. I had to really work to be open to receive. So once I did that and decided and was intentional about being open to suggestions, then it became easier for me. And then I was accepting all suggestions. I'm like, yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, let's do that. And that carried me all the way up until recently when we went through the I forget what we called it,
The
but where we had
print
to be
print edit review call. Yes,
yes,
preprints.
thank you. And that was fun and easy, and they didn't have a whole lot of suggestions, but the ones that they did had I thought were great. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Yes, let's go with that. So yeah, that was the most difficult part, but it became easy when I became intentional about being open to suggestions.
That's so good for all of us to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Tell me a little bit about your illustrator name and what it was like to work with her.
Oh, she is the best. My illustrator's name is Dawn Secord, and Dawn is an award-winning author and illustrator. And she was the best to work with. And I just kind of stumbled across her. Excuse me. I had been looking for an illustrator to do like realistic fiction, and I had even, watched several of the authors who went through this program and went through your publishing company, and I watched some of the videos and went and looked up some of those published or sorry, editor illustrators. Oh God.
Illustrators.
Yes. And I reached out to several of them as well. And then I found Dawn Secord, and I thought, let me go to her website. And I went to her website and I just fell in love with all of her animal illustrations and her pastel paintings and things like that. And I thought, I think this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to reach out. And I did, and I reached out to her, and she and I immediately clicked, and we shared information. And then I asked her if she would be willing to work with me on this project. She said absolutely yes. She wanted to do this. She lives in Texas, and that was a great surprise to me as well. And it's just been, as you see, we made this magic. She created the magic, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to work with her again. I'm already planning
Yes.
to work with her again. Yes.
Excellent. Well, it's a beautiful partnership between an illustrator and an author, and I can see, I mean, just her photo as her and her dog.
Yes,
How
that's right.
perfect.
That's
How
right.
perfect. Well, she did a beautiful job. Beautiful job.
She
So,
did.
yeah, Nikki, what is the best part of accomplishing this dream for you of becoming a children's book author?
I would have to say, hmm, there's lots of good parts, but I would say the best part is turning a true moment into something healing and hopeful. Knowing that the story helps grow empathy for animals and their people. So I'm teaching both not just children, but adults as well.
Yes.
And I think that's a great feeling for an author to have. Everyone's learning a lesson, children and adults.
That's beautiful.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I mean, just you did it so beautifully with this book. Okay, what about advice? What advice do you have for an aspiring author who may be watching right now?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Finish a draft before you judge it and revise it with fresh eyes later. That was a difficult part for me. I was not finishing my draft. As I told you, I was just writing and writing and going back and changing everything. Now that I know and now that I've been through the process, I myself would do it different. Finish the draft first and then go back and revise it with fresh eyes.
Mm,
And I think that had I done that myself, it would have been a little bit easier for me to write it. But yes, I would definitely share that with any author, who's trying to become an author, anyone who wants to be an author. Yeah, just finish the
good,
draft.
good piece of advice. I like that. Okay,
Yes.
very good. So, friends, today is the day. Let us support Nikki. Let's support everything that she's doing. Go to Amazon, buy a copy or buy several copies of this wonderful book. And besides going to Amazon, where else can our viewers find you?
I am on Facebook. You can find me at author Nikki Anderson. And you can also find me on Instagram, again, at author Nikki Anderson.
Excellent. Okay, good, good. And do you put photos of your of Minty on your social media? Because I think
I
people
do.
will want to see that. Okay, good,
Yes, I
good.
do. Yes. Oh, yes.
I think the children reading the story or having the story being read to them will want to see more of Minty. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. Yes,
Got some
very.
videos up of Minty, and of course, lots of photos. But definitely, I'm putting videos up and more videos to show her personality. Yeah, pictures
Excellent.
is one thing, but when you put the video up to where she's moving and doing things that lets people see the Minty that I see. Yeah, her
Hmm.
personality shines through.
Excellent. So, Nikki, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you. Before I go, I always like to ask my final question is there anything you wish to share or anything that you wish I would have asked you?
Um, there just I did want to reiterate that even though this is a children's book and the messages for is geared towards children, that adults too can benefit from this and learn, take away the message of kindness. Adults can also be the helper for for the pet, helping to find a pet because it was adults that helped me as well. Um, Families, I think we need to teach more to our children about trusting strangers, trusting strangers to help find their way home or to help another person in need, but definitely to help an animal in need as well. I think we should be
Mhm.
teaching that a lot more.
Excellent. Very good. I can only imagine that you'll be sharing this book with the heroes that helped you find Minty.
Definitely.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful story. Well, Nikki, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Friends, you know what to do. Go find Nikki, go find this book, and grab a copy of it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Miriam.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.